Hello, Internet. This is Ewan Spence and ESC Insight calling. What is French for? Get your Eurovision tickets! Coming up in this news pod, Liverpool is in the green, there's a new party in the Nordics, and some Italian for Estonia. Yes, good afternoon, good morning, good evening. As always, welcome wherever you are to ESC Insight's Insight News Podcast. I'm Ewan Spence. Myself and the team here at ESC Insight are ready to take you through all the fun and games and action over the last few days and weeks in the world of the Eurovision Song Contest and Junior Eurovision. www.escinsight.com is our website for podcasts, comments and articles. Patreon.com/ESCinsight if you want to support us. And those all-important remembers, the 11th of May. That doesn't quite rhyme, but there you go. Hey, semi-finals, 7th and 9th of May up in Malmö for the Eurovision Song Contest 2024. Grand final Saturday, the 11th of May. Malmö Arena, of course, is in Malmö, which is very near Copenhagen. So if you're looking for a hotel or you're looking for a much easier airport to get to, flying to Denmark, go across the bridge. And it's still some time away, so always think about cancellation, possible refunds, pay on arrival, that sort of stuff. There is, of course, a Eurovision contest before then. Junior Eurovision takes place in Nice, the grand final. It's a one-shot, no semi-finals, straight through for these 16 performers there on Sunday, the 26th of November. Tickets are on sale now. Go through the official website for these. There is an official ticket seller, but the easiest way to find the link is go to junioreurovision.tv and it will get you through to the right place so you know you are getting official tickets. As it stands right now, tickets are €20 if you're looking for a seat, €15 if you're looking to stand. And as I record the podcast, both are still available. We also have some details on the big Monday night opening ceremony, which will start off Junior Eurovision week. It's a red carpet at the Hotel Negresco in Nice. All the French acts who performed at Junior Eurovision since France returned in 2018 will be putting in a performance. And you'll also have the draw for the running order here as well. Now, it's not the complete running order. Who opens and who closes is drawn randomly, and the other songs will be placed into the running order in the order that creates the best show possible. So, for example, if you have two performers who are using blue lights on the stage, they'll try not to be next to each other. You know, there'll be a yellow lighting in between. But there again, if the yellow and the first blue are both ballads, then you switch them around a little bit as well. There's lots of considerations and prop sizes and all of that goes into what makes really good, entertaining running order. That's November, though. Let's look further ahead to May. Fair amount of talk about the participation fee this week, sparked by comments from the Irish head of delegation, Michael Keeley. Speaking to the Eirevision Podcast, he talked about how the participation fee for RTE, the Irish broadcaster, will be going up this year. And other broadcasters have said similar. Now, this participation fee is paid by the broadcaster into the pot that goes towards the budget of the Eurovision Song Contest. Now, other things go into that pot as well. Sponsorship, ticket money, the EBU puts some of their money in as well. But the broadcasters put money in as well, and it's like on a pro rata basis based on things like audience size, geographic size, economic powerhouse of the country, the cost of Eurovision itself, inflation, travel, other costs are all going up. So this fee is rising this year, and we don't have much more details about that, but it's something that will, again, because it's pro rata, it'll pro rata around all the broadcasters. But it is going up. The cost to enter, there is still a cost to enter, but for some broadcasters, it's still cheaper than paying for 4 hours of Saturday night TV. Certainly in the Western European countries. In the Eastern European countries, Eurovision, again, pro rata, is a lot more expensive in terms of what they would normally spend on TV production. So balances and compromises are made throughout the system. Staying with money, though, the idea that Eurovision is going to cost you a ridiculous amount when you host can be paid now twice or three times over. We had reports from Rotterdam, we had reports from Turin, we now have the report from Liverpool, who have put together an evaluation committee who've released 5 reports about the impact of Eurovision on Liverpool. These are all available at the official website, along with more details, but I'll just highlight some of the big numbers. So if you're ever into one of those Eurovision is a waste of money debates, here's the interesting stuff you can go for. First of all, the Liverpool City region's economy was boosted by £54.8 million net. That's a lot of money to bring into a region, and it's one of the reasons why Eurovision is, in the short term, very important. But for the long term, you have more people visiting, you have more people talking about Liverpool, so an additional 306,000 visitors to Liverpool. With all the events going on, 473,000 people attending the various events around the city. And in terms of just the Eurovillage, to give one example, it was open for 10 days, 250,000 visitors through the door. I suspect they're rounding those numbers up very slightly, because if they manage to get dead on 250,000, I'd be very surprised. But those are the sort of numbers we're talking about, and the success that Eurovision can be when you're hosting. Finally, and no real connection to Eurovision, although Kosovan fans would love their country to be part of the contest, but last weekend saw Kosovo's own Festival Yekenyezni RTK, as RTK is the national broadcaster there. The winner of that song contest was La Fazani with the song Oye Kosovo. Let's just say that one of those songs' lyrics, I know I cannot go to Eurovision, but I love you, Kosovo, sums up everything wonderfully. Notably, though, in that broadcast, the EBU Director General sent a welcome message congratulating the broadcaster and wishing every contest to have fun. No word on entry, but a fun show to watch and possibly something to keep in mind for the future. Okay, songs, entries and such like. Junior Eurovision, of course, 16 performers. We have the final songs now. We were waiting for Armenia to decide who they were singing and sending. It's an internal selection there. The band will be Young Girls. The song is Do It My Way. That's up. Easiest way to find that will be in the official YouTube channel for Junior Eurovision. Similar with the Irish song, the national selection selected the artist and then the song was written specifically for them. So Jessica McKean will be singing Ashleen, as we mentioned in the last news podcast, but that is now being released. We can have a listen to it. Of note here, last year's Irish Junior Eurovision entrant is part of the writing team as well. Sophie Lennon finished fourth. It's the highest Irish finishing place in the last 10 years, not just at Junior Eurovision, but in any Eurovision. So Ireland will be looking to keep building on that Junior Eurovision success. And as I said, with that, all the Junior Eurovision songs are released, not a single solo male act in the mix, which is a first for Junior Eurovision. Go listen to them on the official channel and get ready for the contest to commence at the end of the month. And yes, we're going to be on the ground in Nice, bringing you podcasts, bringing you news, bringing you articles in depth and everything else that you know and love from ESC Insight. Okay, we've went May to November, so back to May again. And the moment, the provisional count is still 35 broadcasters who will be entering Eurovision. More are in discussion. We'll talk about some of them in a minute. And some of them will have entered, but not publicly declared yet. We still don't have the official list. When we do, we'll bring that to you on the website and on the socials and discuss it on the podcast. Let's see, what do we have? We definitely know who's singing for Greece now. Marina Satti is going to be the singer there. Greece's 50th entry into the song contest. No song selected as yet because, well, the submission window is now open. So if you have a song for Satti, get it into the broadcaster. No word there on the deadline, but if you have a listen back to Satti's back catalogue, I think we have an incredibly exciting artist in here. There's a lot of traditional Greek instrumentation sounds from the Arab and Balkan regions mixed there. A lot of modern urban sounds. I'm quite excited to see what comes up. So if you're just going to send in your normal Eurovision stuff, no, have a listen to the back catalogue, find something there. I'm excited about this one. Over in Malta, we have had our first 9 songs performed on Friday night Zow show. 36 contestants, performers, artists, singers, etc., have been selected. This is the semi-final. 12 will go through to the Maltese Grand Final. So we've had 9. The public vote opened. We're not getting the results until all 36 have performed every Friday night. So Friday night. We've got more songs coming out of Malta. One of those will be the song for Europe. Right then, into the weeds now as we go around Europe for what's happening in each individual country. Let's start with Albania. No details on why, but we do have 2 withdrawals from Festivali Kenyes. Kesi Toya, who of course has sang for Albania recently at Eurovision, and also Samantha Caravella, fan favourite there inside Albania, will no longer be performing at the festival. They've been replaced respectively by the Peter Pan Quartet and Irma Lepuri. Australian broadcaster SBS has confirmed that it will be broadcasting the 2024 Song Contest. We're still waiting to hear about their entry. This is an interesting one. He was right. Okay, so Australia has been broadcasting Eurovision since the early 80s. Okay, so they got to enter by invitation, and that contract for the invitation ran out in 2023, so they need to be invited again. That needs to have negotiations between the EBU, between SBS, so we assume that that is still going on. News on the broadcast itself came from the annual upfronts from the broadcaster. We're definitely showing it. We're still discussing with the EBU if we will be entering or not. Unlike countries who are full members of the EBU who have an automatic right of entry, as I said there, Australia needs to wait to be invited, and presumably then there's some back and forward. But still up in the air, still not a no, still not a yes either. Live auditions in Azerbaijan of the shortlisted 15 acts are taking place in Baku at the moment. 214 submissions going down to 15, which will eventually go down to just the 1. Of note, out of the 15 acts that have made it to that list, Aysel, who sung for Azerbaijan in 2018, is looking to return to the song contest. When we have news, we'll bring you that. Estonia. Previously, we said, the submission window is closing in a week, and they've only had 12 songs. Submission window closed. We have 215. Everybody suddenly realising there's a deadline. Just like you and me. There's a deadline. Quick, get the song in. We've had months. I know. Get it in. Hey. Out of that 215 songs, 88 are in Estonian, 126 are in English, and 1 is in Italian. Guess which one I'm looking forward to the most. Indeed. 5 songs from that 215 will go direct to the final. Another 15 will go through a semi-final process to find another 5 to eventually get 10 into the grand final of Este Lau. Let's pop back to Ireland. Also on the previously mentioned Eirevision podcast interview with head of delegation Michael Keeley was talk about how Ireland and broadcaster RTE is going to select the song for Eurovision. Now, this isn't confirmed yet, but it's very likely that we will. The Late Late Show is Ireland's biggest chat show, and for many years it has run a Eurovision special, de facto national final. It's likely that this is going to happen again. It's worth noting that the Late Late Show is going through some changes itself, so changes to the Eurovision special should be expected as well. Ryan Tubridy has retired from doing the Late Late Show, and we have a new host there, Patrick Keelty, and he's been slowly, moulding the show to fit his style and presentation away from Ryan, just as Ryan did that when he took over from Kate Byrne, and when Kate Byrne took over from everybody else, the show will subtly change. So there will probably be some changes in the selection, but what that means, and remember, it's still not confirmed, remains to be seen. In Israel, broadcaster Keshet 12, who is leading the search for Israel's 2024 representative, has delayed the start of the selection show The Next Star. Quoting the broadcaster, we are postponing the broadcast following the death of 2 Israeli soldiers during a battle in northern Gaza. Italy's Sanremo Giovanni shortlist has been completed. 564 submitted songs. The list is now down to 49. That's going to be cut down again through an internal jury selection process for 8 performers to go forward to the televised show mid-December. We're thinking on that one. Those 8 will be joined by 4 artists selected from the area Sanremo contest, a newcomers contest for those who live around Sanremo. Those 12 will go into the Giovanni contest. The top 3 will get a ticket to go through to Sanremo Campioni, the big artists, what everybody regards as Sanremo itself, in the middle of February. Short note from broadcaster Avro Trost that the Dutch entry is going to be selected by mid-December. What's not said in that short note is whether that decision is going to be made public, and if it is, if we'll hear the song at the same time as well, or whether that will be later in the season. But the process is continuing. North Macedonia, discussions still taking place within broadcaster MRT for a North Macedonian entry to Malmö. Again, it's about budgeting issues. The budget for the broadcaster has to be signed off by the government as well. So there's backs and forwards going on and deciding what's going on. So the first sign we see that North Macedonia will be coming to us in Sweden will be through government papers and sign off. Norway, we have a date for their national final. MGP's 3 heats, going to be weekly and Saturday night starting from the 13th of January. That will make the grand final happen on Saturday, February the 3rd. Don't book your tickets just yet. We don't have venues. We don't know where it's taking place. Other details are still to be confirmed if you're looking forward to taking a trip into Norway to see that one. Another quick note, this time from Serbian broadcaster. Submission window for the songs to enter their national final has been extended to Friday, November the 10th. Another deadline. Get close. Get your songs in there if you're interested. Spain now, bouncing around a lot, aren't we? There's a lot of political support for Benidorm Fest, with the regional government continuing its investment into the festival. It's matching last year's 1.5 million euros support with another 1.5 million euros. Generally, this is going to go on like equipment hire, venue hire, the nuts and bolts to make this work. There's so much promotion of Benidorm as part of Benidorm Fest. It's an investment that gets more return from presence, from visitors, from people coming into the local economy, much like Liverpool had with the song contest as well. Grand final there is also taking place on February the 3rd. So, Norway or Spain, take your pick. If you're travelling, otherwise you can multi-screen and watch them both. Sweden now, lots of speculation out there around the various potential acts from Melodifestivalen in Sweden. Basically, if you caught the community's attention at any point in the last 4 years at Melodifestivalen, people are thinking maybe you're going to come back this year. Some names are more solid than others, but if you wait until December the 1st, we will get the official reveal of the artist names from broadcaster SVT. And of course, whoever wins Melodifestivalen gets to sing on home soil. Finally, for now, Ukraine. The submission window for Ukraine's national final Vidbir has closed. 389 submissions in total from 288 acts. So some people clearly sent in more than one song. Of those 288, 222 are solo performers. The long list is going to be published on November the 9th. And the press release announcing that has noticed that there's a number of new and established acts, but it's also, we feel there are 4 100% hits and 10 potential hits, which I find is very curious phrasing. What is a 100% hit? Answers in our comments back at the website, www.escinsight.com. Right, what have we got around ESC Insight and beyond for you to enjoy outside of the podcast? Well, staying with the podcast, actually, outside this podcast, but last week we had our latest episode of Phil Dory's Eurovision Wars with Samantha Ross, he and Sam, looking through the banned songs of the Eurovision Song Contest. Up on the website, I've taken a look at national finals as a music discovery engine. We all know about the influence of algorithms throughout music discovery in the likes of Spotify, YouTube, Apple Music and so on. But what happens if you put them aside and just go for the 10,000 songs that entered Eurovision that are filtered through by the national broadcasters? They give you this wide range of genres. I've explored that online in an article. And Ben has one from last week, which is still is always going to be relevant there, about Eurovision conflict and the reflection of geopolitics and what it could mean for the 2024 Song Contest. They're all up on our website, www.escinsight.com. Outside, there's new Eurovision rainbow wear from the official shop. It's an early season refresh just in time for Christmas. Lots of Eurovision merch with the logo in rainbow colours on the official store, Eurovision.tv. Diary-wise, we have another date to put in your diary. It's Sunday the 14th of April. It's the new Nordic Eurovision party taking place in Stockholm. The plan here, of course, is to get Eurovision stars in here to sing and preview their songs for the contest. But also, there's a wider plan as well that they are hoping to rotate this around the Nordic countries each year. Tickets are on sale now, NordicEurovision.com. We'll have links to this and all the links mentioned back at our website as well. Still in your diary, you should have pre-party Spain, March 28, 29th, 30 in Madrid. Barcelona Eurovision, 4th to 6th of April. Eurovision in concert, Saturday, 13th of April. Tickets on sale now. Nordic Eurovision on the 14th. Copenhagen's Eurovision party on Saturday, May the 4th as well. It's the week before the contest. And I'm sure we will have more and more to fill in here as we get closer to the time. What else have we got coming up? Well, we're still waiting on the official list. When that happens, we'll be talking about that here on the podcast. And it is Junior Eurovision month, so we will take a look forward to the concert in Nice. The concert and the contest. All of that happening in Nice at the end of the month. We'll give you, as always, our in-depth commentary and analysis and just enjoying the spectacle of the contest back at our website. As always, patreon.com/ESC Insight to support us, escinsight.com to find out more. Link, like, love, share, subscribe, whatever you can do. It's very much appreciated. As always, to all our friends out there, stay safe, whether we know you or we still to meet you. Be kind to each other. I'll say ta-ra, play the guitars. Catch you in the next podcast. ESC Insight News Podcast was hosted by Ewan Spence, written by Ewan Spence and the team at ESC Insight. www.escinsight.com, patreon.com/ESC Insight.